That's a hell of a headspace and a hell of a week to watch Rock-a-Doodle.
Fuck, man. Fucking Rock-a-Doodle.
Catching up on cinema audience, this is the dark side of the Bluth, and this is Rock-a-Doodle.
You can't keep a good dog down.
No, you can't.
No. You can't keep a good dog down.
I've been bought and sold.
He's been warm and cold.
But 10 to 1, I'll still be running rackets when I'm old.
Not in some cage in the city pound. Cause you can't keep a good dog. Can't keep a good, I say you can't keep a good dog down.
Wow, Dark Side of the Bluth. I could not have done better if I tried. We're doing that. I will see if I could make an intro video for this. Yes, today, dear listeners and hopefully viewers, we're going to be reviewing Don Bluth's Rock-a-Doodle from 1991, the film that scarred many a childhood. And honestly, watching it now as a almost 40-year-old man, I'm having difficulty pinpointing exactly why that was, but I remember how I felt when I was a child watching this movie when I was, say, 4 or 5 years old. Probably that's where the scarring came from. But yeah, this is a Don Bluth production. We'll probably want to talk about Don Bluth before we get into things proper, but Rock-a-Doodle. Let's start things off properly. What is a Rock-a-Doodle, Levi?
Rock-a-Doodle is a pun on the consistent call of a rooster being cock-a-doodle-doo. So this is Rock-a-Doodle-doo. It's awfully clever, isn't it? So this is a film.
And end quote. This is a film.
Yeah, it's like the Baby's Kids joke that Doug Walker makes. It's animation. That's all they have to say. It's animation. That's all. I saw this film as a youngster, probably around the same age that Trevor saw it, separated by a number of years. And it's like, yeah, this film scared the shit out of me. I saw it on several occasions as a kid, and it just continued to be utterly incomprehensible and also terrifying. And I watched this after having not seen it in 20 odd years. And I put it on with, the girlfriend was having one of those days of like, yeah, you can, like, you want to come over? Like, yeah, I'll probably be doing some drawing or something. Like, it'll be, like, that'll be fun. Like, I'm like, I was thinking about watching this movie tonight. It's kind of the only time I have for it. We're doing it for the podcast. And she's like, yeah, I probably won't pay, like, super close attention to it, but yeah, you can put it on. And she had another friend over at the time, and I'm like, okay, guys, we'll see how this goes. We were glued. We were glued to the screen. Nothing else was happening. And on several occasions, I look over to the girlfriend, and she, of her own volition, is just doing
Jackie Chan face.
Like, she's just... And every 5 minutes was that scene from Truman Show. Just, what does this have to do with anything? Tell me what is happening. And I feel like she put it best. She said this at around the 25-minute mark. She's like, I feel like this is movie adjacent. Wow. Like, this is like adjacent to a movie. It has many things in common with a movie. I don't think this is quite a movie, though.
Yeah, sometimes dead is better. This is
Lois. Sometimes dead is better.
This is the caterpillar that goes into the pupa and it's trying to open it up. It's trying to become a butterfly. It's trying to get out, but the goop that it turned into in the in between phase hasn't crystallized just yet. So it opens up the pupa, and it's just it's neither caterpillar nor butterfly. It's just genetic goop. It's just paint and ink.
I just don't know. Like, most of my joy from this film was watching the girlfriend and her friend be utterly baffled and having no time for this movie's bullshit. And because if I watched this one by myself, I think I would have just spent the whole time being like, when is it over?
Well,
when is it over?
Can confirm that's what it's like to watch Rock-a-Doodle at 38 years of age on the couch by yourself in the wee hours in the morning. Unfortunately, I didn't have my fiance available to admire their reactions. I'm sure they would have been plentiful and incredible. But yeah, movie adjacent. Like, good job, girlfriend. That's amazing. I love that. I will incorporate it into the edit, the Halloween 3 audio clip that I had sent you, Levi. I don't actually have it on the board. Apologies, but it will find its way into the Stop it! Stop it!
Stop it! Yeah,
I don't have that. But I do have Mike Stoklasa from Red Letter Media, a reaction that, to me, this is entirely how I felt. Was
What in the fuck?
what in the fuck? It's somewhere between agony and a laugh. It's like you don't know where you're at. You're trying to grab onto something. It gives you nothing, because this movie is just borderline incomprehensible. And what's astonishing about that fact is that the fingerprints are all over this fucker.
Yes.
That they were trying to wrestle it into some sort of cohesiveness. Like, wrestle it. Like, they're like putting this thing in all sorts of Brazilian jiu-jitsu chokeholds and ankle locks and shit. And it just keeps wriggling free every 2 fucking minutes. And, like, through the power of voiceover, maybe we can chill this fucker out. And then, like, shh, go sleep. And it just won't happen. It just won't submit. It will not tap.
It is funny because, yeah, Rock-a-Doodle feels like a living entity. It's like we are trying to put it in the boundaries of some form of reality. It's like that scene at Star Trek. It's like that scene in the opening of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, where they're trying to get the teleporters to work, and they're beaming them in, but they're not quite coming in right, and they're like, "No, focus, no, get him back!" And you see them suffering, and they're screaming and like it finally comes back, and it's like, Enterprise. Thankfully, what we got back didn't live long. It's like.
Thankfully, Rock-a-Doodle is only 70 minutes long.
Don, thankfully, Rock-a-Doodle is only 70 minutes.
Yeah, Rock-a-Doodle is Superboy Prime punching down the walls of reality. Cannot be held back and will destroy everything in its path.
Yeah, like, it feels like... Yeah, Rock-a-Doodle is some sort of chaotic energy that had to be contained on celluloid. This is it's an elder god. It's an elder god that we managed to trap.
It's New Nightmare. It's Wes Craven's New Nightmare. We did the world a favor by making Rock-a-Doodle, by locking the power of Rock-a-Doodle into celluloid.
It's... I feel like I would say we should talk about the story, but it's one of those things. I have never encountered a film that simultaneously has no story and also no plot. So let me give you the basic rundown of Rock-a-Doodle. So there is a rooster named Chanticleer, And Chanticleer
Rolls off the tongue.
Chanticleer is a historical name that is often given to roosters in like fairy tale stories. Like this has precedent. This is sort of like an ancestral thing that's been handed down from like old English folk tales and that sort of thing. So it's like weird, but hey, you have the Beowulf of roosters, so why not? So Chanticleer calls up the sun every morning, and then for some reason, the sun comes up of its own volition. After Chanticleer is jumped by a rival hitman rooster in a scene that is entirely narrated. Apparently, the rival hitman rooster had a voice actor. He does not in the final picture. So, and after the scrap, after Chanticleer loses, the sun comes up of its own volition for some reason. And all the barn animals determine that he is a fraud. He did not, in fact, call up the sun. We don't need him, and it doesn't matter if he was a swell guy or anything. Get him out of here, and he leaves in shame. Again, for nebulous reasons. Turns out this was all a ploy by the Lord of Darkness, by the Count, or by the Order of the Court of Darkness.
Court of Owls, you might say?
A court of owls, a parliament of owls.
There you go.
Who is led by an absolutely simultaneously hilarious and pants-shittingly terrifying owl played by Christopher Plummer. And then we hard cut from that opening to a little boy whose family is fighting flooding out in farmland. And the boy determines...
In live action, mind you.
In live action farmland. The little boy determines that the storm is being caused because Chanticleer has been chased away from the farm, only to be confirmed by the owl man showing up, cursing him and changing him into a kitten. And then the cartoon barn animals show up and say, "Kid, we gotta go find Chanticleer." So they travel to the big city to find Chanticleer, to call the sun back up. So I would like to impart to our listeners and viewers, that is not the opening. That is the film. And then after that point of premise, it is madness. There is sheer unadulterated madness. And nothing makes any sense, and things just kind of come together, and then they just keep going, and then they stop all of a sudden, and then we'll hard cut to a different scene, and then we're somewhere else, and then we're back to that, and this character gets introduced, and they might have a plot hook, but they don't. We don't know anybody's names.
Yeah, Levi summed it up with that noise just then, blowing that raspberry. Because, the lack of cohesion in this is aggressive in its attempts to remain unengaging. Like this movie, it shirks you off. Like you try to grab hold of it, it's like, no, fucker, you're gonna stay lost in the woods. Some of the hard cuts from scene to scene are jarring to the point of being comical, like entirely unintentionally. It's just like, what, where, why? Like you find yourself doing that a lot. You find yourself muttering to yourself.
What in the fuck?
More often than not, every time the scene changes. Yeah, Rock-a-Doodle is an unadulterated mess. It's utterly incomprehensible at times. Like at its barest of bones, like in the broadest of strokes, I get it. Like it's not that I don't understand the concept. It's not that I don't understand like the ticking clock factor and all that business. It's just it gives you so little. Like it feels like watching it as an adult right now. It feels like two separate movies that got smashed together forcibly, like at gunpoint or some shit. Because it's like there's the Chanticleer plot, which is like, okay, you know, like a country rooster goes to the big city, gets corrupted by big city, finds a lady, you know, has to go back and save the old country. Like, yeah, cool, I could follow that. But then you got all this business with live action boy who gets turned into a kitten. And then he has imposter syndrome, which somehow they parallel with Chanticleer and stuff. But like the transitions between those two plot points, they feel so utterly distant for the vast majority of the film. At times, it really does feel like two separate films. To the point that like the voiceover narration feels like a tool that was implemented to try to stitch together some of those seams, those really obvious seams. But really badly, because there's entire. You did start things off, Levi, by explaining, because it did warrant explanation, you see, because it's so goddamn clever. A rock-a-doodle, you see, is a play on the phrase a cock-a-doodle. So it's a rock-a-doodle-doo, you see. And it even has, you know, musical notes on the font here, on the logo. You will have songs and music in your cock-a-doodle-doo film, correct? Yes. With the caveat that the vast majority of the songs in this film are one, dog shit, or two, covered by voiceover narration. Like the first major musical number in this is kind of a banger, but there's a guy talking over most of it.
And also have nothing to do with anything, usually.
The Bouncer song, that's memorable. The Bouncer's got a whole ass song, Levi.
That was one of those scenes of everyone losing it during my screening of like, what is happening? What are we doing?
What?
And I turned to Seema. I'm like, Seema, they're all toads, so they're bouncers, and she punched me.
You see, they're toads. They're bouncers.
She's like, Levi, shut up.
Warranted. Because what makes it is the fact that scene is expensive. Like, if you know anything about animation, effort, time, and money was spent on the bouncers bouncing song sequence.
Yeah. We bounce. Get away, bounce.
I think you nailed it, actually. It's that and We Hate the Sun. That's another one that lives rent-free in your mind forevermore throughout childhood and into adulthood.
And this is because, and I think that that's when the comment came, is she's just like, I feel like this song is like, it's song adjacent, like it's music adjacent. And then she's like, you know what, this whole movie, this is movie adjacent. Like, I don't think this is a movie, but it was like that first came. So for the audience at home, because this is actually there are a few major aspects other than the fact that I don't think we have a script and it is just madness. Again, this feels like an organic entity that they were trying to choke down into a plot. But there are a few primary issues with this. Or at least primary things that stand out to me. The best performances in the film is Christopher Plummer as the Lord of Darkness, or whatever he's called.
Grand Duke of Owls.
The Grand Duke of Owls. He is fantastic, if only just because Christopher Plummer is just pouring himself into the syrupy, tasty evil of the role. Like, I mean, the man is like giving his Tim Curryest, like, just enjoying and soothing.
No, he is fully erect in the booth the whole time.
Yeah. It's like he has like the Jim Cummings, like Dr. Robotnik, like, oh yes, like thing the whole
I know exactly
time.
what you're talking about.
Oh, that is very good. And he is terrifying.
Yeah.
To a 5-year-old, he is terrifying, and he is the one thing I remember starkly about this film. There is a scene that, as an adult, I'm like, well, this is fine, and it's a scene that's about 45 seconds of the count coming into the little boy Edmund's room and transforming him into a kitten because he's easier to eat that way. In my mind's eye as a child, that scene's like 3 minutes.
Me too.
Of just this pealing laughter of Christopher Plummer as the kid is transforming into this cat. It scared me a lot. And the terror of like the flooding and all of it was just like, this scares me a lot. And so he's a good villain because he is genuinely frightening in areas. And then there's several song sequences where the Parliament, the Court of Owls, sings a song that was written by people, where it is, we hate the sun, this much we know, we hate the sun, and it's like, it's that tone. They aren't singing, they're just slightly musically stating things. And it is terrible, and they do it like 4 times. And I was like, this is like a song that you make up when you are absent-mindedly searching for something. Like, they're running out of batteries, running out of batteries. Like, it's the kind of thing that I would hear my mother singing in the other room as she's looking for something. And the bouncer song is like this, and there's all these moments that are very expensive to animate. These song sequences with the owls and the bouncers and stuff cost so much money. And they are horrendous. And they are the worst thing you will ever hear. Because there's not even an attempt. Like, it's just awful.
It's just awful. It doesn't help that all the owl songs are accompanied by just atonal organ garbage. It's just organ noises, and like you said, it's like that Family Guy joke or whatever, where Peter Griffin's trying to lie about his name. He's looking for objects in the room to tip him off of what to say instead of his actual name, and he sees a griffin. He's like, Peter Griffin. It's like, we hate the sun. We're just this much we know. It's just like we're just making it up on the spot.
It's like going to improv night.
Yeah, sloppy. Not everyone's going to be a winner.
No. And the other sort of standout performance, like there's a couple of voices you'll recognize. Blue is giving our narration.
Yes.
Or Little John, depending on your Disney film persuasion.
I mean, I would favor Blue just because of Tailspin, honestly.
Yeah. OEA.
Oh,
yeah. Bear and Grinnet.
Yeah.
So he narrates the film, and according to Bluth, and according like production notes, they're like, dude, this movie makes no sense. We need to add narration. We need to try. Just come on. Like, get over here. So he narrates the film, and he does a good job. Because he's a professional voice actor and he's been doing this for 80, 90, 500 years. He's been doing this forever. So he's a class act, and he puts it like none of the voices outside of poor little Edmund stand out as being improper or not good at what they're doing. Edmund he's a kid.
He's a little kid. So
he's a little kid.
You can forgive them.
He is nigh incomprehensible, though. There are times
his letters are fucked up. Where
listen, I'm not gonna pick on kid actors. I'm not gonna do it. However, as an adult, as a casting director, I would say, guys, can we spring for a kid with a little bit more diction? Just a little bit, just a wee bit, because there are some really talented child actors out there that I know could say this dialogue without sounding like they had a shot of schnapps prior.
Macaulay Culkin's price point would have been too high at the time, but Pagemaster wasn't that far behind this, as far as I recall.
Doug Walker made the comment of, this kid makes Jake Lloyd sound like Haley Joel Osment.
Ooh, that's an insult. You leave Jake Lloyd alone. He's had enough.
Yeah, it's like, stop. He's already dead. The other big sort of standout role, I would say, is Glenn Campbell as Chanticleer, as our lead. And it's funny, I don't have a connection to Glenn Campbell's music. I'm not like a older country music listener. I like Johnny Cash. I like John Denver. These things come up in my playlists, like Marty Robbins, Gene Autry. Like, some of these come up in my playlists.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Glenn Campbell listener. And I had a feeling that my girlfriend was, because of the she comes by a connection with 50s and 60s music, honestly, because her father is an older guy and grew up in the 50s and 60s. So all of his music and everything she heard growing up was his music. So she comes by it honestly. And I'm like, you want to know who the rooster is? And she's like, who? And I'm like, Glenn Campbell. She's like,
oh no.
She's like, this caused the Alzheimer's, didn't it?
Oh, fuck.
Because it's like, he died of Alzheimer's a couple of years ago. She's like, this is what did it. She's like, this movie is what killed him. Slowly, it poisoned him.
Holy shit.
She's just like, Glenn, no. What are you doing? You have your own catalog. Why are you robbing Elvis?
I don't know. Maybe he had a kinship with Don Bluth. Maybe Don Bluth was a fan. I don't know. Like, I also do not have a connection to Glenn Campbell at all. But to his credit, in this film, the little bit that we hear him, because he's not in it that much, especially his songs. Like I said, there's narration over most of them. He sounds great, and his songs are the good ones.
Yes.
Like, everything else is fucking dog shit, but his songs, the actual Rock-a-Doodles, are kind of decent, especially that opening, like him crowing to Race the Sun. Actually, that's a pretty decent song to bookend the film.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good. It is very funny. It's very funny that Mr. Von Trapp can't pull together a musical number to save his life.
Yeah, unexpected. As far as other voice players, I had a lot of fun like thinking of these people in terms of their notable roles as opposed to their actual names. Boss Hogg. Yeah, we have Ava. It's not Ava Green, is it? She's Ellen Green. Excuse me.
Ellen Green.
Yeah, Ellen Green. Ava Green's someone else. Ellen Green is the lead female role in Little Shop of Horrors. I think both the stage and the film versions. She's terrific. She does what she does. Don Bluth seems to have a thing for this kind of character. You see them pop up in most of his films, and also Dragon's Lair, for that matter. Princess Daphne kind of is a similar archetype. He likes his wispy voiced blondes.
I was telling a friend of mine that we were doing this, and he's like, "Oh, are you going to talk about what is it? Daphne?" And I'm like, "Of course, the only thing you remember about Dragon's Lair is Daphne." And he's just like, "I would do anything for Princess Daphne." Like, he's just
Princess Daphne.
The people come out for Daphne. It's just like, he's like, you ask any man in this country of a certain age, all they remember from Dragon Quest is Daphne.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
mean,
yeah.
No, Dragon's Lair was, I mean, everybody played it if they had it available to them. I actually have a vivid memory of the attract mode of Dragon's Lair 2, which I didn't know until I became an adult. Apparently that's kind of a rare cabinet. But Dragon's Lair 2 is like Time Warp or something, I think is the subtitle. But the attract mode of that was very Don Bluthy, did feature Princess Daphne somewhat prominently. Young Trevor remembers that very well. But yeah, Ellen Green in this plays a similar kind of character archetype. Apparently she was the subject of a little bit of censorship, of which this film was subject to some amounts of that. One was covering her chest. Apparently she had cleavage in the original animation, so they had to cover that with feathers. And the Duke of Owls, his magic breath weapon. He has a magic breath weapon, folks. It has like WYSIWYGs on it. It has wingdings on it. Apparently the wingdings were added in post because it was too scary. I was like, that's just still scary. Now it's scary and confusing. So that didn't fix the problem. It made it worse. And also there's a bit where he's cooking a skunk, apparently. And you'd never really see in detail the skunk pie that he made. But he does talk about eating people a lot in this movie. That's making Linkara hard. That's making somebody hard out there. But they tried their best to not visualize it at any point in the movie. But he does talk about it. He does threaten it quite a lot. And in the original animation, apparently, you did see him like cooking a skunk in the oven during that one scene where he's talking to his nephew or whatever.
Yeah, there was actually a comment that they made in watching the opening. Girlfriend's like, damn, they've really animated some serious honkers on those hens. And I'm like, well, I ate chicken breasts, and she's just, that was another punch. It was like, I'm like, well, you know,
you had that one coming, Levi.
but that's the thing, is that what we found strange is like, well, the hens have cleavage, they get cleavage, but Goldie does not. and I'm like, yeah, there's no, and she's like, no, there has to be, and I'm like, no, there isn't. Hens, one scene hens, they get hootas and they get cleavage. Goldie doesn't.
Yep. I don't know. I don't know how the censorship board works, but apparently it was deemed that Goldie couldn't have cleavage. But those hens in the opening, cool, whatever. Interesting. But additionally, we also have fucking Mandark in the voice cast. What's his face? Eddie Deason plays Snipes, not Wesley Snipes, but he plays a character, I guess. Like, he doesn't do shit in this movie, but that's what you were saying about nobody really has any names. They do. Only Patou really registered. Patou and Chanticleer just out of repetition. Like, their names get said a lot. Whereas everybody else is just like, annoying bird, Mandark the bird, and Mousy Mouse Lady, Spunky Mouse Lady, and Mandark.
He was referred to as Fingerbird in our showing.
Fingerbird? Why Fingerbird?
Because he has the gloves. Because he has fingers.
Oh, he's okay. Yeah.
And and of course, the obvious joke is Fingerbird. I hardly know bird, but it's. What they kept, there's a running gag, a running joke, a piece of humor about the dog can't tie his shoes. And the dog wears shoes because he has bunions. This is explained. The cause of the opening of the film, which is the sun rises on its own for no reason and then can't do it again, that's not explained. But the dog wearing shoes is an important point of explanation. So he has bunions, you see. This is an important thing. He cannot tie his shoes. And Edmund is trying his damnedest to help him do it, but he has paws, these tiny little kitty paws, so he can't help. And every time the gag came up, the girlfriend and her friend are screaming at the screen. The finger bird has fingers. He can tie it. He has human fingers. He can tie the shoes. Have him tie the shoes. God. Fuck.
The equivalent of saying, "Get me out of here."
Yeah,
get me out of the shithole.
Yeah, they're like, it was just like, stop with this joke. The solution is right there. It's with Fingerbird.
Why don't you see this? Yeah, the shoe thing. It's amazing how much screen time and dialogue is dedicated to that, and yet, the catalyst for the plot, the sun deciding to come up and then deciding to never do that again, is never explained. It's amazing how much narration is thrown at that without actually solving that problem.
Apparently, this is hearsay. I haven't heard the man say it.
Okay.
But apparently, Bluth's explanation, this is like apocrypha to Rock-a-Doodle, is that the sun was so used to the repetition that it did it out of expectation, that the call was coming, and now it doesn't know what to do.
What?
I don't fully understand that explanation.
So Don Bluth, just take a pit stop to center myself. Don Bluth, former Disney animator, well-documented Mormon man, neither here nor there. I'm not here to talk about that. Former Disney animator, branched off, made The Secret of Nim one of the most beloved animated classics from the 1980s, bankrupted himself making that film. Would team up with Steven Spielberg, did American Tail, Land Before Time. I did not actually know he did not do an American Tail 2, Five Will Goes West, the one that we all like more. I did not remember that he actually was not associated with that. Amblin Entertainment seemingly wrested control of that from him, or maybe he wasn't interested. Point is, very shortly after that, I think he went bankrupt again and broke his creative partnership with Steven Spielberg. And then throughout the 90s, there were Rock-a-Doodles, there were Pebbles and Penguins, there were, completely forgot about this one, Levi, A Troll in Central Park. Completely forgot that existed. It did. It happened.
I gives a shit. I didn't forget, and I was keeping in the back of my mind of like, because somebody was like, well, All Dogs Go to Heaven is pretty, like, that's a pretty well-known one. Like, you can't do, like, Dark Side of the Bluth with All Dogs Go, like,
no,
people like that
that's
one.
That's a good one. People like that one.
And they're like, and Five Will Goes West. Five Will Goes West is also cheating because he didn't technically, I'm like, if we don't do those two, we have to do Thumbelina and Troll in Central Park, and I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that to myself. I'm not doing it.
There's a limit, goddammit. And that's it. No, we're not doing that. But yeah, point is, I think he's gone bankrupt at least 3 times in his professional career. And I say that laughing, but the man really did give us some really important foundational animated films that most people of a certain age, some of his films really, really, really resonated with, are beloved for a very good reason. But I don't know what the fuck happened in the 90s, but he just could not get it together, and he could not get a win, with the exception of Anastasia. Anastasia fucking killed it. I don't love that movie or anything, but it did really, really well, and most people like it. So, all that to say, Rock-a-Doodle was apparently something he wanted to make since like the 1960s. And I think we talked about this about Treasure Planet, where it's kind of a similar scenario where it's like, this thing is, someone wants this to exist. Someone really wants this to happen. The higher ups keep saying, no, fuck off with your pirates. No, fuck off with your singing roosters. And then the funds finally come together. The stars align. It's like, it's time. It's time for fucking Treasure Planet. It's time. It's time to Doug Walker. It's time for Chanticleer. It was never time for Chanticleer. It happened. It never should have happened, but it did. And I'm pretty sure it contributed to Don Bluth's third bankruptcy, and apparently the death of Glenn Campbell.
Yeah, there's so much in this. I just don't like. Let's go down the highlight reel.
Yeah, what worked? Let's talk about. Let's try to stay positive as best we can. What worked in Rock-a-Doodle?
The animation's lovely.
At times, I would counter. I would say there are certain scenes that are beautifully animated, like inarguably just technically really well done. Characters are on point. Like everybody's model is good. The frame rate's good. Everything's good. And then there's certain scenes where it's like, ooh, is this the B team or something? Like what happened here? Like there's certain crowd scenes like in that opener where it's like all the farm animals are like, I don't know what the fuck was up with those horses and cows, but they're like gnashing their teeth, and it's like, that's not warranted. Like all that happened was he didn't like the sun came up without him. Why are you so pissed? Like there's certain crowd scenes that are a little bit shaky, but like the helicopter sequence, like in the interior of the helicopter, like most shots in there I thought were really well done personally. The opening shot is highly ambitious, that zoom into the farmland and into his, again, Linkara was probably jerking shot down his gullet. You get to see his uvula action there. That shot was very, very ambitious and well executed, but it's a little inconsistent. But yeah, from time to time, it looks great. And also, there's a lot of staples of Don Bluth's like technique highlight reel on display. Like there's some rotoscoping for some of the rigid objects, like the pink Cadillac and the helicopter. You can tell are rotoscoped. You can see that in a lot of his films. And all the character models, like most of them are well realized. I would say that some of them are overly complicated. Like Fingerbird, for instance, he's got a lot going on. It's like, I don't even know what I'm looking at half the time. It's like, just simplify him just a little bit. Some of the character designs are a little out of control, but yeah, I would say the animation for the most part is a positive.
Yeah, but I mean, by and large, and I like the climax, even though it's nonsensical. The climax makes no sense, because essentially the crux and the conflict of the picture is they find Chanticleer. And Chanticleer has essentially written all this stuff off. I didn't call the sun. I don't really have a place anymore. And he gets recruited by a big fox man. And the big fox man turns him into an Elvis impersonator in the big city. So a large portion of the film is spent trying to wrest control away from Foxman and get Chanticleer back to the farm so he can call the sun again. And this is also where Goldie comes in, where she is a ploy to like kind of pacify him, because like Chanticleer is depressed and he's lonely and he doesn't really like what he's doing. So it's like, oh, we'll use Goldie essentially as a pawn to keep him occupied, to keep him happy. But then they actually do end up falling for each other. Kind of, I don't know. That's what the narration says.
That's what I was told.
So I was told through many Bothans died to get us this information. And then the farm animals find them, break them out, and get them back to the farm after a long extended chase sequence. And the climax is we get to the farm. The other farm animals that were left behind are being harassed by the Count and his minions. They get back, and Chanticleer still can't quite bring himself to do it. And there's like, because he hasn't built up the confidence. I like this as a climax, even though it isn't earned and even though it makes no sense. Of it's like the immense power is growing because it's been dark for so long, and the Count raises to enormous size and then turns into a freaking tornado with a face in it. Again, holy shit. Turn this movie off. And then it's like the moment of like trying to figure that out. Edmund's dead. He kills Edmund straight up. Like, not just like I don't know. Like, they like turn his head and they're like, oh, he's dead. Oh, he's super, super dead. And Chanticleer manages to get it to the point where he crows, and he crows so loud that he turns into like a fiery bolt as he goes up and reverses the spin of the Count tornado. And it's like, it's kind of this incredibly visually striking scene, even that's kind of harrowing, even if it makes no sense at all.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It doesn't like stick the landing by any means, but it does hit the emotional beats. Like the timing of things, the stakes in particular are clearly identifiable. You want the hero to win in the end, and the payoff is largely gratifying. It's a little unusual, actually, especially in a Don Bluth movie, that the villain is not killed. Like he's not like erased or anything. Like he's miniaturized, and then we get a comedic send off for him. I'm kind of used to Don Bluth movies having a bit more teeth and like somebody falling off a cliff or some shit. Or in the case of Secret of NIMH, some guy getting stabbed and then having a knife thrown in his back or something.
Yeah. Dropping a giant rock on his head.
Yeah. I'm kind of more used to that. Like, Sharptooth got it. A lot of Don Bluth villains get it in the end. They make a joke out of it and he goes off, and it works for the most part. And like you said, Edmund is portrayed as being dead at this point. D-E-D, dead. But yeah, Chanticleer goes Super Saiyan and saves the day. I thought the emotional stakes of it worked pretty well. In general, like Chanticleer's scenes, I liked. The visual creativity and the world building feels more feels cohesive. Like all the city stuff involving him and Boss Hogg, big fat fox man. Like all the locales that those scenes take place in, there's like a cohesiveness. Almost feels like Cool World or something, the city at times. But like the pink Cadillac motif, you kind of can tie that back to Elvis and stuff. The Colonel and Boss Hogg may as well be the same person. You kind of get that, especially as an adult. Like all the concert venues are very well realized and have lots of neat little gimmicks in terms of like playing off the fact that this is an anthropomorphic animal person world. So like all the bouncers are toads, and like all the choir singers, or I think they're like mice or rats and stuff. All that stuff's well realized. I like the film set when he's filming the motorcycle sequence, and they have that really complex gadget to show the moving background, the backdrop for when they're filming that sequence. Small details like that I thought were really, really neat. And that's what had me thinking, like, was this two different? Like, did we start out with Chanticleer, like an entirely Chanticleer focused movie? And then we decided we need a child protagonist, and we need to have a ticking clock, and we need to have all these other things that we need to weave in here somehow. Because I found myself caring a lot more about Chanticleer stuff than all the other horse shit, especially because the ticking clock factor actually weighs against the movie at times, where it's too urgent. Like they show the owl people like at their door, like ready to eat them, and then we fart around in the city for 20 minutes, and we cut back, and the owls are like not there anymore. They're back at home, like playing the organ and fucking around. And then 20 minutes later, they're back at the barn, and they're like, "Are they gonna run out of batteries yet? I suppose we should do a song about that." And then they leave again.
They're running out of batteries.
That's the stinger for the end of one of the songs, by the way, folks. Yeah, and the villains are scared of flashlights. They're sending us mixed messages, because the Duke is terrifying.
Yeah.
But he also flees at the sight of a flashlight beam.
Indy, the fire's going out.
I mean, yes, that's the level of distress that a flashlight beam causes him. But another positive, I guess I would say, is I probably should have pitched in my 2 cents when you mentioned it, but the scene that I think crystallizes this movie in the memories of a lot of young people when they see it, that scars them, that terrifies them, is that sequence when the owl pays a visit to Edmund for the first time. I think like watching it now, it's like it's a little harder to identify what made it so intense and so scary and so memorable, because that's my memory of this movie, is that's the scary one. And then I watch it now, and I'm like, what was scary about it? And I think it was I think it's overwhelming. I mean, the whole movie is overwhelming, even as an adult. It's throwing so much at you constantly. But like, you have live action scene with a young boy. There's a flood outside. His parents are distressed and like arguing in front of him. So that's kind of getting you on edge as a child watching that. Like, no, like that's just an uncomfortable position to be in, and you identify with the child. And then the storm intensifies, and then a fucking Evil Dead tree hand comes in through the window and almost claws him. And then the Duke comes in and is basically talking at him like he's going to eat him, like he's playing with his food. Very reminiscent of another childhood scarring movie, The Witches, when the boy turns into a mouse. Holy shit. That'll fuck you up. If you haven't seen it, folks, maybe don't, because that fucked me up for sure. And again, it's that overwhelm where it's like things on top of things on top of things, where it's like The Witches has like the unmasking of the witches, the unveiling of the Grand Witch is like, Jesus fuck, that's a lot. And then also you have, in the midst of all that, a little boy turning into a mouse and hiccuping green smoke in the midst of it. He turns into a goddamn Muppet. And this, it's like you have a storm, you have his parents freaking out, you have a tree hand coming through the window, you got an owl telling him you gotta eat him, you got turning him into a fucking kitten. And then, the owl grows in between all that. It's like, he can do that? Okay, I guess there's no way out of this scenario.
It is, from an empathetic level, the peak of fear of being helpless.
Yeah.
It is, your family is in danger and you can't do a damn thing about it. Your home is being destroyed not only by the elements, but it is being attacked by something that is pure freaking evil. This thing has you at its mercy and is taking away something from you, essentially just to play with you. And you're gonna die. You're gonna die knowing that your family's gonna die. And the only thing that saves you is a chance turning on a flashlight. And it's the knowing that, and it is kind of this sense of dread of the only thing that's keeping this thing away is the fact that the batteries still work. It's like, it's dark. It's just perpetually dark. And we're running out of batteries.
Yeah, I mean, not to speak on behalf of the creator, but the man is a man of faith. You have to have faith that things will work out, faith in your tools. And also, I want to say that perhaps there's some autobiographical elements inserted here, because when I think about it, it's like there's a lot of like flood imagery in his movies. There's a lot of like natural disasters bearing down on people. Like Secret of Nim, the whole finale of that one is their house is sinking into the mud. And I have to assume perhaps maybe this is something he dealt with. Also, a tornado is a specific kind of thing that has a greater presence in certain regions of this country that some people have intimate familiarity with. Perhaps natural disasters of that type or something he was, had encountered at a time or two in his life. I don't know, but the man does know how to frighten children. That's for fucking sure. And that is done well in this, for what it's worth. even when they try to like cover up the teeth just a little bit, like I said, the whizzy wigs and wingdings actually make it worse. But yeah, as far as positives, I think that's mostly all I have. But I have a really fun note, and this seems to happen every time I do this, Levi. The score for this movie, I would say, is fine. Adequate. Like, it's good. Like, I have nothing negative to say about it. But the score comes to us from Robert Folk, and I'm just going to throw some titles at you, Levi, because he's not a household name. But some of these movies may in fact be familiar to you. So he's uncredited for working on Tremors, which has a fine score, by the way. Just 1 year later, Levi, Beastmaster 2, Through the Portal of Time.
The one thing, the heavy lifting of that picture.
Yes, yeah. He did the score for Beastmaster 2 Through the Portal of Time. He did the score for Theodore Rex from 1995. He did the score for The Lawnmower Man 2, Beyond Cyberspace, which I have seen. My family rented it when I was a child. He did the score for Booty Call. He did the score for Kung Pao, Enter the Fist, a movie I quite like. He's kind of amazing. Robert Folk is quietly amazing.
This is sort of like us discovering the previous week that Ice Pirates Mac and me and Tammy and the T-Rex were all the same guy.
Yeah.
This is how I'm feeling right now of like, you are like, it is finding out that somebody is a professional clown.
The whole time?
Yeah, it's just like you just go down the list and you're like, wow, every one of these projects is insane.
Yeah. Apparently he's the guy in the Rolodex that you pick up the phone when you're doing Theodore Rex. You know who to call.
Yeah. Sir, we need you to score bullshit.
I'm your man.
Yeah. We need you to set bullshit to music.
He starts digging through his songbook. He's like, we hate the sun. It's time.
This much we know.
I've been saving this one for a special occasion.
Yeah, it's... Goodness gracious. I feel like what is warranted is discussing some of the most truly baffling moments, and I'll just run through these rather quickly.
Go for it.
The Count's nephew is dispatched to take care of the farm animals before they find Chanticleer. The scene of him trying to kill them in Chanticleer's trailer
The way he opens that hatch is questionable.
It's the way he opens the hatch makes no sense. It is blink and you miss it. The whole sequence. It happens so quickly. And it is just like, what is it's just movement. It's just movement on screen, and it's happening. So it's like, that's madness. Then there's a moment of Lynchian mind break.
Oh, yeah, Edmund. Yeah.
In the midst of a chase sequence, all seems lost. Not even all seems lost. They miss the mouse girl. The mouse girl gets separated from them. And Edmund has like a moment of soul-crushing realization that they may not be able to save her. And the scene goes in through his eye and shatters. And I'm like, and there's like foggy narration of, "You're just a kid. No, you can't do that." It's like, it's lines. Yeah. Yeah, it's lines from earlier in the film of just like various people saying he can't do it. And then it's him coming through and going like, "No!" And then the scene shatters again, and he's like, "We gotta go back." And I'm like, in the midst of that, I'm like, where are we? And very deadpan, my girlfriend's like, we're in his cerebral cortex, Levi. Try and keep up.
It gives shades of Darkman, the pink elephant scene.
Oh.
If you get the reference,
no, we've gone full Sam Raimi for a second.
Just a second. It's the one time it happens in the whole movie.
It never happens again. It is very strange. This feels like Don Bluth. I choose to believe this is how it happened. Because the tone of this movie and the way the movie is structured and the things we're seeing in this movie feel this way. Don Bluth set out to make a kind of whimsical adventure about a rooster calling up the sun, and somewhere in Isengard, Ralph Bakshi is over the orb, like exerting his influence from a distance. Because it's like the weirdness, the kind of horniness,
I mentioned Cool
city, like the magical like elements, the weird urban setting, the fact that a lot of it is like really ugly and nonsensical. It's just like he's just like, it's like heavy traffic is slowly reaching over to take this like fun, like this kind of weird fairy tale movie.
And all that's repeating in Don Bluth's head as he's directing his animators is Ralph Bakshi's voice saying, "A family picture.
A family picture.
It's a family picture."
I mean, even like the kind of like rubber hoseness of like the opening farm stuff, it feels Bakshi. It feels kind of Terry Tunes. It's really weird.
Yeah, no, I see it. Like you're onto something with that. So maybe he had a good long phone conversation with Ralph Bakshi, and it just set him on a path. Changed him forevermore.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about Rock-a-Doodle, because
we've done enough. We've done the Lord's work today, Levi.
Yeah, it is. There was something super gratifying and there was justification, and like I felt justified in finishing the movie and saying it was incomprehensible to me as a child, and it is incomprehensible now. It's good to know that my memory was not playing tricks on me.
Yeah, you've just experienced Rock-a-Doodle.
Yeah.
I'd say we did a good thing today. We put the bunny back in the box. The evil djinn that is Rock-a-Doodle cannot escape the confines of Rock-a-Doodle for another 3 decades or whatever.
You will come out no more.
What the hell is that? Yeah, that's what we did. We threw our magic crystal into a hole in the wall in the sewer. Rock-a-Doodle's not crawling out of that hole for another 30 years until some other internet reviewers out there once again put him back in his box. Fuck, man. That was a journey. But we experienced Beige and survived. We lived to tell the tale. Dark Side of the Bluth. I love it. That's officially what this month is going to be. We're going to be exploring the lesser Don Bluth films, and could not have picked a better starting point. I don't know if future episodes will be this lively or entertaining, because frankly, I don't know that I'd have that much to say about, say, A Troll in Central Park as compared to Rock-a-Doodle. But hey, we got one good one out of the deal. Before we go, though, thank you for joining me today, Levi. This was great fun. Would you care to let our listeners and viewers know where they can find you and your YouTube channel?
You can find me at Your Captain Speaking on YouTube. I talk about books sometimes, and I made a video about my film collection, and I may be doing that more in the future. But for the most part, I talk about short books, men's action, mostly focusing on characters you may have heard of, like Conan or James Bond. It's an encouragement to get back into reading, because not everything has to be these big, thick tomes or nonfiction. You can read a book in an afternoon that is fun, snappy, and it's engaging, it's well written, and it is meant to entertain you. So get back into reading. Go to your local used bookstore, spend $10 and have a ball.
Yeah, get on it. Check out Levi's channel. He does great work. So much passion on display from episode to episode. With that being said, thank you so much for joining us today. My show is obviously called Catching Up on Cinema. Levi is featured on it from week to week. And you can find it anywhere podcasts are found, as well as on YouTube. So if you're watching it or listening to it now, you know where to find us. But yeah, thank you so much for listening and or watching, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
That is